What is up, our friends in film fandom, wherever you may be, and however you may be watching and or listening? We appreciate you being here and giving us just a little bit of your time. We are, of course, The Harsh Truth, and I am, of course, not Frank. Work kicked his ass today, so I guess that means I'm captain of this vessel tonight. And we have quite the crew here joining me for this little night swim, because we are going from aliens to sharks, which is one hell of a jump, but we're not jumping sharks just yet. And I hope we never do. Anyhow, we will start. I can't see shit in these glasses, but we'll start down at the bottom with our special guest. The doctor is in. We have Dr. Nick. How are you this evening, sir?
I am great. Thank you for having me. I just took the place of the bald mob boss. You know, we had to keep the quota up of baldness, so that's why I'm here.
Bald life.
Yes. I'm so glad I'm here for this. I missed the first time that you guys talked about this. This is my favorite movie. I've sent stuff to Frank before about it. I'm just thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Hell yeah. We'll just act like the other time didn't happen, just like the other movies.
100%.
Well, he not only terrorizes the oceans, but he terrorizes the state of Texas. We also have Tex in the house. And how are you this evening, sir?
Y'all hear that? It's a fucking shark. There he is. There he is. What's up, everybody? Happy 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. Well, technically tomorrow, but you know, the sentiment still stands. Isn't it like Canada Day for something up y'all up there or something, Nick? What y'all got going?
The first.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, a posthumous Canadian Day where I assume y'all eating maple donuts and attack beavers or whatnot. I don't know what y'all do up there.
That's
either way. It probably is, but maybe, but still funny. So I don't really care. But
we pray to our beaver overlords.
There you go. Happy 4th of July, my American brethren. Let's drink too much, eat too much, and go blow shit up. So God bless
America. All right. Well,
America.
As it's no surprise, it is in fact getting up on the 4th of July weekend, and this whole week we've been doing a couple movies that surround that holiday. On Tuesday we did Independence Day. So aliens, and now we're doing sharks. There'd be sharks in the water. So, and it happens to be the 50th anniversary of Jaws, which is pretty damn cool. One quick note here. I forgot to, again, because I can't see shit with these glasses, but we do have some kind of sad news that just came up in the last 24 hours. We have now lost the now great and late Michael Madsen. He was where's that story? Oh yeah, so Kill Bill, Reservoir Dogs actor Michael Madsen died at the age of 67, which is still too damn young. A representative said he was discovered unresponsible at his Malibu home on Thursday morning. So not a whole lot of details on it just yet, but he's appeared in a lot of films. This thing says 300 films, including Donnie Brasco, Sin City, Thelma and Louise, and like we mentioned before, Kill Bill, Reservoir Dogs is kind of where I'm at. We got the wonderful Mr. Blonde.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Blonde, probably one of the best characters, and of course he gets the great line, you gonna stand there and bark all day, little doggy, or you gonna bite? So rest in peace to him. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to add to Michael Madsen real quick before we start jumping in the water.
Yeah, Michael Madsen. He was kind of Hollywood doesn't really have these anymore, but like a character actor. He had a very interesting look, a very interesting face about him. And yeah, he had some big hits. He was in like Sin City. Hell, he even had a part in Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But I think my favorite thing about Michael Madsen was he did a lot of B movies, like towards the end, like what ended up being the end of his career. The two that really come to mind, he did a shark movie. It was Shark Season, I think it was called. And then he did another one of those kind of sci-fi type movies, like the Sci-Fi Channel, Piranaconda, where it was one of those like monster movies kind of thing. I felt it kind of fitting to bring that up since we're reviewing a shark movie, very on point thing. But yeah, the dude was cool. I mean, obviously, Mr. Blonde with the cigarette and the $5 shake, and going Edward Scissorhands on old boy's ear there and everything else. So, rest in peace, Mr. Madsen. You will forever be remembered, sir.
And I see that he was actually in a movie called Megalodon. It actually starred him.
Megalodon. That's the one I was trying to get. He did a lot of those. Yeah.
It was. I think it said for TV, if that was a thing. Still,
it was one of those. Yeah, it was one of those.
Yeah.
For the Sci-Fi Channel, where they had like $10 for a budget and terrible CGI. I think he plays a Navy commander in that movie, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm not for sure, but yeah, he did a lot of B movies, a lot of low budget stuff that that if it did go to DVD, it was like straight to the $5 bin kind of movies.
Yeah, 100%.
But he always had a really good performance and just a solid look about him. So, hell yeah, good dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got Stuart McQuaid already. We're going with the quotes, so we're gonna need a bigger live stream.
Stuart?
And my wife's over here throwing sharks at me, so that's
Rachel throwing sharks. That's not a very nice thing to throw at people. Rachel, you shouldn't do that. It's not very nice.
No.
Yeah, someone might lose an eye.
Yeah. What they say about a shark's eyes? You got lifeless eyes.
I'm pretty sure PETA wouldn't like to hear you're throwing sharks and whatnot. They might get upset.
Yeah, they're very easily triggered. You need to watch yourself. They get touchy.
Yeah, they don't have any shame. All right,
no sharks will harm in the posting of that comment by Rachel.
We swear.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's piss off PETA some more. All right. Like I said, we're here to talk about Jaws, of course. And Jaws is a 1975 American thriller film directed by Steven Spielberg, based on the 1974 novel by Peter Benchley. It stars Roy Scheider as Police Chief Martin Brody, who, with the help of a marine biologist played by Richard Dreyfuss, and a professional shark hunter played by Robert Shaw, they all three hunt a man-eating great white shark that attacks beachgoers at a New England summer resort town. Murray Hamilton plays the mayor, and Lorraine Gary plays Chief Brody's wife. The screenplay is credited to Benchley, who wrote the first drafts, and actor-writer Carl Gottlieb, who wrote the script during the principal photography. Regarded as a watershed moment in motion picture history, Jaws was the prototypical summer blockbuster and won several awards for its music and editing. It was the highest-grossing film in history until the release of Star Wars just 2 years later. Both films were pivotal in establishing the modern Hollywood business model, which pursues high box office returns from action and adventure films with simple concept premises, releasing during the summer to thousands of theaters and advertised heavily. Jaws was followed by 3 sequels. I think that's a typo.
Those happen?
None of
them. There's 3. There's 3. I mean, yeah, wait, there isn't 3. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, which is weird, because none of which involve Steven Spielberg or Benchley. That's odd. As well as many imitative thrillers. In 2001, the Library of Congress selected Jaws for preservation in the United States National Film Registry. Very well deserved. Across all of its releases, Jaws has grossed $477.9 million worldwide. Adjusted for inflation, it has earned almost $2 billion at 2011 prices, which I'm sure it's even higher now, and is the second most successful franchise film after Star Wars, like we mentioned earlier. Including its 2022 reissue, it has grossed $265.8 million in the U.S. and Canada, equivalent to $1.2 billion at 2020 prices. So yeah, that's not peanuts. Still making it the 7th highest grossing film of all time, adjusted for ticket price inflation. And all of this was against a budget of just $9 million. I mean, even $9 million in 1975. So, yeah, this is a pretty important movie right here. This is the summer blockbuster as we all know it, and know it now. Cannot see my goddamn notes. Jesus Christ. That shit's pissing me. You know, the things I do and text notes, I suffer for this show. I tell you what, I had to.
Oh, he's put the pain tolerance in. He's done the work.
Yeah. All right. First point. I don't know why he wrote Sir Stevie, because Frank's a fucking weirdo. But I'm assuming we're talking about Steven
Spielberg. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we're talking about Steven Spielberg, not Stevie Wonder, even though he's not English. But Sir Stevie. So, I mean, that's a name that we all know and love now. But I mean, in 1975, he was just some 25-year-old kid trying to make a movie. So I'll start with Tex. I'll start with Tex. What do you think about the works of Steven Spielberg? I mean, that's a pretty big library to choose from.
Where do you want to start? I mean, Jaws, Jurassic Park, E.T. The man's done a million things, and that's just his on-screen work. The work that he's done throughout the years behind the camera to help preserve film theaters. You know, Steven Spielberg is one of the godfathers of movies. I mean, he'll forever go down as one of the most important people to ever work in this industry. And I mean, the man's won more awards than hell. He probably doesn't even keep them at this point. He just throws them in the trash because he ain't got shelf room. But I mean, you know, in the talk of greatest directors of all time, he's easily in that conversation. Now, it's you know that your career has gone well if you can, you know, say ask people what's your favorite movie, and more often than not they pick one of yours, whether it's Jurassic Park, Jaws, E.T., all these other things. The dude has left his print on this whole atmosphere, and I mean, I can pretty confidently say that he has helped all of our movie fandom with a lot of his properties. So yeah, I don't think you can shit talk Steven Spielberg if you wanted to. He may have had a failure here or there, but I mean, hell, just, you know, go off what you just said, money wise for this movie alone. I'm not going to tell you how much money I've spent on Jaws 50th anniversary merch here in these last couple of months because of Steven Spielberg. So, you know, he's obviously still getting money, so it's all good.
Well, yeah. What about you, Dr. Nick? What do you think about Steven Spielberg and all his movies?
Just to look at what he's been involved in, and not just like for producing, but like a writer or like a director. It's amazing the list that there is. Like, it's phenomenal. Like, I'm just kind of like scrolling through it right now. The one I don't think gets enough credit, and I really enjoyed it, was Hook. The Peter Pan. Yeah, I love that movie. I just going through it, like, forgot because I'm just kind of looking at movies. But yeah,
I had that VHS as a kid. That was a good one.
So like executive producer, again, stuff I didn't know, like the Men in Black 1 and 2. I didn't know that. Mask of Zorro, Deep Impact. Like, gosh, like, wow.
If it wasn't for Spielberg, we wouldn't have a summer blockbuster. He kind of created that thing.
100% he did. Yep, 100%. But yeah, you can't say anything bad about the guy. Yeah, everyone has a stinker, but no one's gonna talk about the stinkers. Well, assholes will. So, which means that, you know, someone will. But might. I'm gonna say so.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's a name that, like, you know, you just say it, you know who it is, or you at least you could name off some movies that this guy's been a part of. I was gonna be a weirdo. I'm like, guys, you're not talking about his best role when he was the clerk in the Cook County's office in Blues Brothers at the very end of the movie. He was the guy they took the fucking check to at the end of the movie.
That's why he's Sir Stevie. Frank says apparently he was knighted. Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you, Frank. That's new. Son of a bitch. You know. There you go.
Well, okay. Excuse the shit out of me. I'm too American for that. I don't think I'm gonna get invited by anyone.
with knowledge like that, you should host a show.
Have you ever thought about doing YouTube, Frank? You might have a future. Just saying.
But yeah, I mean, where do you, like we said, where do you even begin, man? Jurassic Park, Jaws, like we're talking about tonight. Schindler's List, which I've actually only seen twice in my life because that is a heavy fucking movie to get through.
Well,
it's very heavy.
It's a hard choice to watch
hard.
that movie here. Come on now. It's a very hard choice.
I mean, like, to be fair, the first time I watched it, we watched it in high school, which, yeah, fair enough. That tracks. And then I think my mom hadn't seen it, so I watched it with her, and this was like more recently than it was when I watched it in high school. So I'm like, that was a conscious choice. So maybe I've only made a conscious choice once to actually watch that movie because it's some.
You and your white guilt won't let you watch Schindler's List, you racist
motherfucker. I am German. I'm just telling you. I'm not Voldemort doing stretches with a fucking.
Hey, I'm German too. I can say these jokes. It's fine. It's all good.
And that's funny that you said you watched it in school because that shows the gravitas of Steven Spielberg because we watched it in school as well.
Right.
We watched Schindler's List in high school as well. So,
Indiana Jones, E.T., Saving Private Ryan is also a phenomenal movie. That one I choose to watch. It's also heavy, but I choose to watch that one because, my God, just the opening scene alone on the beach. Like, you want to talk about some intense shit, like, in your face. Like, this is war, and this shit is not pretty. Like, the shot of the dude just, like, casually just carrying his blown off arm around on the beach, looking around like he has no idea what's going on.
It was a very realistic take on what that war was. Like so many movies get made that are on the kind of more fantastical end.
Polished.
Saving Private Ryan was not pretty. It was not, cleaned up for how it was. It felt like you were in the trenches with them. That's what made that stand out so much.
I had an incident similar to that arm thing, and it is really surreal. Like when the adrenaline's pumping like that, like I tried sitting up and I tried like putting my foot down and the whole 9 yards, and you're like, okay, I know what I'm trying to do right now, and it's not working. Like I could just imagine that part is so surreal, right?
Yeah, that movie lets you know right away.
Yeah. And like when Tom Hanks is looking at him, like he's deaf because the mortar went off, right?
Oh, and the ringing in his ear.
Yeah, and it's just ringing, and he's just watching this, and like it slowly comes back. Like that's amazing little features put into a film where you're going, I wouldn't even thought of that, but you're actually feels like you're looking through that guy Tom Hanks's eyes in that situation.
Mm-hmm. And also Spielberg, excuse me, more recently-ish, also directed my favorite movie of all time now because for the longest time it was The Matrix, and then it got knocked off its pedestal by Ready Player One. So, there's that too.
He was attached to that. Yeah.
Yeah,
the movie that had every IP ever.
Yes, that's why I'm like, there is a second book that's been out, and I'm like, good luck. I mean, even for Spielberg, I'm like, good luck if you want to make the sequel. So, and
they might want to learn from Space Jam and just leave it at one, because that's kind of in the same vein with mixing of the properties and whatever.
I'm just saying, I know there's another book, and like I know that Ernest Cline's that big of a nerd. I'm like, it's the gaming rule of 3. I'm like, there will be a third book, I'm sure. Making a trilogy. I'm like, but man, good luck taking like 10 years to get an IP of like 2 seconds of somebody like Sonic running across the screen or something crazy like that. You know what I mean? So. Also, I don't know why I didn't realize this, that Spielberg's also from Cincinnati, Ohio.
We won't hold that against
you. There you go.
You better not, because I'm from Ohio. I'll fucking come right up there. I'll march right across that border.
Bring the boys. Bring the boys. We'll get drunk.
You'll stay lickety split, boy. You don't know what.
Bring the boys.
You wouldn't get
fucking party.
You wouldn't get through Cincinnati. We have Cincinnati chili here, and you're not about that life.
Oh God, no, thank you.
Okay,
it's not chili. We've had this discussion before, sir. It's not chili.
I'm just saying.
I got to say this shit just because I was just kind of scrolling. I opened up YouTube. Casey is playing Uno right now. No, he's playing Uno.
So,
wow.
Owns a PlayStation 5. He's playing Uno.
Room full of video games. Plays Uno.
The thing. Yeah, all the things to do.
Yeah. Anyways,
there you go.
don't worry. I'm gonna be in here talking to you guys and shit talking him over there. So
Oh no, that's fine. That's what we do here. Lord Jesus. Let's see. Who can we get a picture of somebody here? Yeah, there we go. We can do that. So next point is the cast, and I mean, yeah, we got, of course, Roy Scheider as Chief Brody, Richard Dreyfuss as Matt Hooper, and unfortunately the late Robert Shaw, which I think he died like what 2-3 years after this movie was made or something. It wasn't too long after.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
Which is really sad. I think when I was watching this movie, when I was maybe like a high school or something, I was like, I loved that character and I liked his portrayal. Then the internet's a hell of a thing. I look it up and I was like, well, I ain't so good at math, but I can count 2 numbers higher. I'm like, God damn, that's really unfortunate. But yeah, he puts in a hell of a performance. So Nick, what do you think about the cast? Who stands out to you in this movie?
The three of them together, can you pick a movie where your three main characters, aside from Bruce, like the three guys, are perfect for the role that they're in? They all hit their spots perfectly. I was thinking about it because I heard that on a podcast that I listened to talking about Jaws. And I was like, try to think of another movie where all three parts, they hold up great. Your main three guys. And really the one I came closest to was the original trilogy of Star Wars with Mark Hamill, Princess Leia, and Han Solo.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher. Okay, that's three that are, but really
that's it. Maybe like Lord of the Rings, like Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn.
Yeah. There's another one. Yeah. Now you say that perfect. Okay. But these guys, they played off each other excellently. And then something else I learned about this too. It's sad that Robert Shaw died right away, but he pretty much did Jaws for free because he owed a lot of money in child support because he had 9 kids.
Right.
So yeah,
when you're cool as Robert Shaw, the ladies can't get enough of Brad. They come a calling.
And I won't say anything else about things that I've learned, just in case you have it in your trivia and stuff. But yeah, it's these guys, they were great. I thought they were awesome together.
Oh yeah. What about you, Tex? What do you think of the cast? Who stands out to
you? Quint has always been my favorite. I mean, just from the, this is my charter. This is my boat. He just walks off like a pimp, by the way. And remember that line when you go see the new Jurassic Park movie, because they literally use that exact line in that film. But since we talked about the three already, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more, I want to talk about the mayor, Murray Hamilton. When you think skeezy politician, Murray Hamilton plays it perfectly in this movie. He's, which, to be fair, he's not wrong in what he's saying about, this is a summer town. We need the tourism money. If the tourists can't swim here, they'll go to elsewhere and blah, 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 whatever. Mm-hmm. So you can understand his motivations, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, we've had multiple people dead. We know what we need to do, but if we do what we need to do, our town dies, So it really puts you in a predicament. So is he a villain? Is he not? I mean, I guess that's a perspective thing. But Murray Hamilton, the way that he plays in this film, he's, especially in that scene right there when he pulls up onto the boat, he's kind of, he's got his Trump Joe Biden face on with the big smile, and, and he's doing the whole thing
with the anchors.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's just he plays the skeezy politician of shaking hands and kissing babies. Ain't so much in this movie, especially he goes up to the family. I love when he almost seems like Jaws himself on land when he's walking the beach and he sees that family laying there. He's like, why is nobody swimming? Come on, go swimming, go get in the water, go get in the water. And he knows what's going on. And it's then shenanigans happen after that. But Murray Hamilton is such a character. Oh, yeah, there's a shot right there. That dad's like, what? The dad's looking at him like,
the mom's like,
get away from me, suit. What are you doing? Who wears a suit on the beach? I don't care if you are the mayor. throw some shorts on, dude. It's fine. But I don't know. It was the 70s, I guess.
It's the
Yeah,
70s,
Murray
I don't
Hamilton. He's outside of the trio that carries this film. If it was not for him, this movie would not be the same. So I'm gonna go with the mayor.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'll also add though the ancillary characters, like that first picture you had with the morgue guy from the morgue that said it was a shark. The word escapes me. Yeah, like you look at him like when he's with the mayor, you can kind of see he's like, just the way he plays his character off, like, oh, it could have been a propeller, like, but then you could like this part when Hooper's like, this was no shark act, and it wasn't Jack the Ripper. You could see just the expression. He knows he's fucked up, but the guy
Hooper knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah, he played it. Every little character, and it's the little characters that made it really good, right? And I'm not taking away from like the protect like Ellen Brody or any of the other ones, but like or Quint's little buddy he has with him when he tells him he'll hunt the shark down for more than $3,000. Quint leaves. Yeah, like, there he is.
Is that his first mate? I'm like, who is this guy? I don't know.
I would say it's like a first mate, or is like just a deckhand.
Quint, yeah. I love how Quint walks into that scene snacking on a cracker or whatever he's eating throughout this film, just walking in like
I have the like you just introduce yourself by scratching your nails on a chalkboard.
Oh yeah, of course. By the way,
you made. I was like, dude,
I hate nails on a chalkboard. That so many elementary school memory. No, thank you. I cannot watch this movie without cringing a little bit. Like I have to turn the volume down. But when he walks in snacking on those crackers or whatever crunchy snack he is eating, he's just like, he's kind of assholeish, but he knows what he's good at and he's doing it on purpose. Like he knows he's the only guy that can do this.
Yeah, because he leads in with like, y'all know me, you know how I earn a living.
Right.
Like, he's just like, that's the most baller thing. He's like, yeah, you know what? I'll catch this shark for you. It ain't gonna be pretty.
Well, he's the Michael Jordan of shark hunt. I mean, he has the right to, flop it out on the table and show everybody. That's essentially what he's doing.
He big dicked everybody. Yep.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
really? Then he walked the fuck out and dropped the mic. It was awesome.
Yep. and then like Buddy just follows him out. Like, okay, we're done.
Right.
Yeah. Just follows him.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Brody.
Yep.
Goodbye. There is something that I never noticed before, and I'm glad I got a picture of it. Someone pointed this out, which I think we were talking about. Like, is Mayor Vaughn really a bad guy? Because you look at the scene, like where they get onto the boat or the little ferry on the car. If you look at the car door, it says Vaughn's Realty. So he's not just the mayor; he's also the guy who is in charge of like the real estate. So I
never noticed that.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, so wait, that adds an extra layer of like, oh shit, now no one's gonna come look at houses either if they were interested to live there. So that kind of gives you a little bit more of if there was any more excusing this guy's actions, again, still maybe a bad execution of it, but I never noticed that either. And I'm like, well, that kind of adds some complexity.
Hell, we went. And this is real out. 3 years ago, we went down to the Texas coast. We went down to Port Aransas, and there were shark attacks that year. Like 2 people got bit. I don't think either of them. I think maybe one died or none died. I can't remember. But they didn't close the beaches down. We were on the ocean when they were bringing in a bleeding body. Guess what? They didn't shut them down. They told everybody to kind of move out of the way. But that's what I'm saying with the mayor here. He's not necessarily a bad guy. He's looking out for his town, for his town economy. The speech that he gives in this movie, we are a summer town. We need this tourism money. If they don't come here, they're going to go to Cape Cod or whatever else. So this is it's a morality thing of, what are the odds? The ocean is a big place. As far as they know, there's only one shark. Does that justify shutting down the whole town and killing your economy for the next year? That's a big question. You know what I mean?
And just like the shark in this movie sneaking up on us way too late, we seem to have a birdie gamer in the chat.
We're gonna need a bigger boat. 4 people can't.
We do need a bigger stream now.
I thought I told this stream to shut down several times. Why does nobody listen to me?
Nobody's listening to you, Chief.
Well, if you pay me
I'm
10
the
grand,
captain of this vessel today.
I can shut this down for you, Mayor. 10 grand and I can get it done. Doggone.
I even put
find him
the
for
Dennis
3.
Nedry
I'll catch him
glasses
and
on
kill
and
him for 10.
everything. I'm just a much
I'll even
plumper.
bring you the head.
The whole damn thing.
But all right, we were just talking about the cast. So we talked about like the mayor, Quint, Brody, even some of the side characters like the guy and the guy. Oh yeah, did you see that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he nailed it with this one.
Yeah.
We're going.
I might rock this. I might just keep rocking this for the 4th.
Hell yeah,
I'll do it.
I mean, I'm wearing my Jaws button up on the 4th, so you got to rock it for the party.
I'll do something like that. So Gamer, who, like I said, we're talking about the cast. Who stands out to you in this cast? We got plenty of good ones to choose from. Who stands out to you? And no, you can't say the shark. That's unfair.
Richard Dreyfuss, 100%. He was.
He's good.
He's my favorite character in that entire film.
There we go.
I love perfect shot right there. Hey, young feller, how are you?
Hello back, young feller. Rest in peace, Ben Gardner. We hardly knew you.
Yeah, he was. He's just my favorite character in that film. I mean, Sheriff Brody. I loved him in there, but I don't know, just something about you get one guy who, like, you look at Sheriff Brody and he's like the man who's not supposed to be near the water is now on the water, and then you have like Hooper, who I feel like shouldn't be on the water or should be on the water, but acts like the whole time like just he has no idea what the hell he's doing, and I love it.
Right.
But he's into sharks. But I don't know. I love Richard Dreyfuss. I mean, they even took him as far as to bring his cameo into, what was it, Piranha 3D, where he's like the
I think it was 3D.
He's wearing like the exact outfit and everything. I love that.
I'll say the denim on denim, the Vans, and the beanie. I mean, does it get?
Hey, well, I mean, we do have our Canadian correspondent. Is that an accurate Canadian tuxedo, sir? It does that check out?
Nope.
Oh,
he has to have he doesn't have a shirt.
Oh, he's gonna have the denim shirt too. Yep. Oh yeah.
Yep. It all has to be denim. Yep.
Well, sorry. I guess
it's business casual. Business casual.
You
He's
can actually
traveling.
meet Richard Dreyfuss at con. There's like these particular cons that are like shark related. It's like specifically just sharks.
That'd be cool.
I think it's like maybe Shark Con, I think is what it's called. I'll have to look into it. But he goes to those all the time, and you can meet him. So that would be something worth.
I'm gonna have to look into that
too.
I would definitely go to that. All right. Oh Lord. Oh, seems like I need to hold on. Before we get into the plot here, just excuse me a second.
Make sure to crunch.
Now
You better crunch. You better crush. You better crunch it. Oh, he did the thing. He did the thing. He did the thing.
Hey.
I had that there on purpose.
Hey, do you guys know anywhere good on the island?
I'm gonna have Nick follow me up.
Ahead, I'll be at Texas Roadhouse.
I can't crush mine. It's made out of stainless steel. And Yeti doesn't crush.
You can't crush that? Come on.
He's trying to keep his identity a secret. It's like The Boys. You can't just give that away.
Well,
the truth.
I'm not gonna say I'm not Superman, but you've never seen us in the same place before. So it's all good.
Tex puts on a pair of glasses, and I'm like, all right, where the hell did he go?
All right, wait a minute. Who are you?
All right, so let's dive into the plot of this fucking movie. So, oh Lord. So we have, I know we do this kind of differently, and I'm like, I definitely didn't exceed the limit of pictures on this show, which says a lot, given that this movie is almost like 2.5 hours long. But
I love every minute of it.
Great tonight, couldn't find it.
I'll start with you, Dr. Nick. New England town, fictional Amity Island gets attacked by 20, 25, 30 foot, 3 tons of them shark. And pretty, I mean, like we said, I think earlier with like Independence Day, it's a pretty straightforward plot, but still manages to have plenty of story to tell. So what do you think about the plot? Does it work for you? Is there anything you would change? I mean, I don't think any of us would change this movie, but
no, there's maybe a little bit more. Like I've seen rumors that, I mean, not rumors. You always see pictures of, I'm on some Jaws fan bit pages and whatnot, and like to talk about like Quint and maybe show like his bringing up, or not bringing up, but like his shark hunting and stuff.
That'd be cool.
Maybe a little more from the book, like because they really changed the characters from the book compared to the movie. Because I'm not going to say I read a book. I've
never read the book.
No, but in the book,
a little different.
The way it's been put that I've heard people talk about on podcasts is basically you end up rooting for the shark because all these people are like horrible human beings. Like Chief Brody's a raging alcoholic. Hooper actually has an affair.
Hooper definitely sleeps with his wife. So.
Yeah, Hooper sleeps with his wife, with Quint.
Yikes.
Oh yeah, with Ellen Brody. So you're like, so yeah, it's kind of, but for what it was, I thought the story was awesome. I mean, to be able to tell the story that they told with, a not working shark and just have barrels and music, and you're like, oh shit, here it goes. Right. And yeah, great story. The everything about it I enjoyed. It's my favorite movie, and again, I can watch it all the time. So I can't think of anything that I'd super change.
That's for sure. What about you, Tex? What plot of this movie, does this work for you? I'm not even going to ask if any of us will change it. Just, your thoughts on the plot.
No, I mean, obviously, yeah, I could say, give me more shark, but that's kind of the general answer that anybody's going to say. But the fact that we only got as little of it as it did added a character quirk that kind of puts it over the top throughout the years. But my favorite thing about this movie, plot-wise, has nothing to do with the shark. It's whenever the trio is out on the boat and they've kind of been at each other's throats, and then they go inside and they're sitting at the table and they're just drinking and sharing. Oh, I got this car, blah blah blah, and telling stories. And by the end of it, they're singing pirate songs with each other. Like that bonding moment of those three is my favorite scene of the entire film. It's so simple. There's no blood. There's no gore. Y'all know me. That's what I get off on. But that scene alone, for me, makes the entire film because, I mean, realistically, this was the first big shark movie. Now, we've had a million since that have done something different or whatever, whether it's Sharknado or Mecha Shark or whatever. And I love most of it. But what makes this plot so good is how simple the movie is. And it doesn't need to be anymore. Like I said, I'm sure the book is probably deeper plot-wise. But for the film purposes, Spielberg took exactly what he needed, and he literally made a classic that I'm going to go pay to see in theaters next month when I already own it here at my house. So that should tell you something about what I like about this plot. Yeah, it works.
For sure. I'm guessing Gamer got eaten by the shark. But yeah, so...
he's thoughts and prayers to his family. I'm sure he was a delicious meal. He'll be back.
You go in the water. The shark's in the water. Our shark.
Our shark.
I told him to quit chumming in the water, but he didn't listen to me. He couldn't control himself. So.
No, you didn't hear him. He said slow ahead.
He did say slow ahead. Yeah, slow ahead.
Hooper drives
Hooper! Ain't you watching?
Starboard, aren't you watching it?
Oh my god! Oh, I forgot to even talk about my favorite goddamn character. If it wasn't obvious, obviously Robert Shaw as Captain Quint. I know it's different from the book. I think it sounds kind of anticlimactic that I think he harpoons the shark to death and yay, excitement. Everyone goes home. I don't know, but he does get a pretty cool ending. Which if you haven't seen this movie, you already know where this is going.
Oh.
Kind of a hell of a way to go out, man. Especially after we talked about it. I think one of the best parts of this movie as well, and one of the best dialogues, because you don't have to see anything but Quint sitting there talking about the USS Indianapolis.
Yep.
Like after
yeah.
I'm glad
It's
I got
heavy
this
stuff,
one because
man.
of like the look on Hooper's face. It's like because he's the one he knows, and obviously we know like Chief Brody's like like, oh, what happened, and then we get this awesome dialogue about it, and the way he just runs that whole goddamn story, start to finish. Because like I said, you go from laughing, talking about, all right, so we'll drink to our legs, I mean, he shows him the one on his arm. He's like, oh, it's a tattoo. I had it removed. Oh, don't tell me, mother.
Yeah.
Hooper's having a fucking time of his life, and you can already see it. I've watched scenes again where I'm like, where the focus is at, but I'm like, I watched him, and you watch him kind of come down, and just like when he gives him that pat on the arm, like son, I'm about to drop some heavy shit on you right now,
Mhm.
like that's
Right.
Indianapolis, and it's like if you know that story, like obviously, like I said, Hooper knows about that. I mean, if you know anything about sharks, man, that's some scary shit. Yeah, that's one hell of a dial. I don't know why, even like posthumously, like this dude didn't get some sort of fucking award for telling that story. And even
Yeah,
he got
that's
drunk and
stupid.
told it. I mean, man,
Well,
I've
it's
seen
just
people like, good.
that's what I was talking about that scene a minute ago, because it's, once the boys go out on the boat, it's a different that's the tonal shift within this movie. I mean, yeah, before that you get some blood and gore scenes with the shark attacking a couple people. But once they ship off, there's a tonal change in this movie. That's when the dark side of this comes in. And, you've got the boys out there that they literally carry it from then on because they're the only ones you ever see again. And that's the moment in which it flips. There's no more laughs. There's not going to be, anything else. Business has to get done, and it's probably going to get nasty. That's why that moment in the film for me is so important, because it's a pivotal scene. I would say in cinema, not just this film, but I think it's a great scene.
And when you watch, so everyone knows that any Jaws
So
fan.
Shaw did 6 movies after this. Okay. Thank you for doing the internet work for me, because I couldn't be bothered. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Anybody knows what happened. So the first time they recorded that speech, he was drunk, off his ass, and he was embarrassed. Robert Shaw was, and he said to Steven, like, you got to let me do that again. And that's what he did the second take. And he's like, it's like, if you watch, and I watched because I listened to the podcast and I watched the movie, you can see like in Robert Shaw's face, the cut from where they go from like drunk from the first cut, where you could tell his eyes are kind of glossy, to where like it's stone sober, and he nails that. Like I mean, we could sit here and start thinking about movies, but for a monologue, that's got to be one of the top 3 ever.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I agree. Someone did a pretty cool like visual representation of that. Like they put scenes. I think I saw it once. I don't know if it was like Discovery Channel or History Channel or something, talking about the Indianapolis going down. And it might have been scenes from that, but it's like overlaid and goes back and forth with like Robert Shaw telling that story and then showing scenes from that, like intercut with like, what he's saying in the story and it happening. And I'm like, man, that's just visceral. But I'm like, but the point of him, like, they don't have that. It's just him telling them this story. And it's like, you're like this on the edge of your seat, like just listening in, like, holy shit,
Right.
And that's why I think I love the afterword, like that, Hooper still has that look on his face, like, Jesus. I mean, I love how he even ends it with like a, well, but anyway, we delivered the bomb,
The
USA,
moment, that's the moment of like when your dad's speech, you give him all of your attention.
You understand why Quinn is the way he is.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's the moment of, okay, I may not like everything that you do, but holy fuck, I respect you for every goddamn thing you've ever done in your life, And when he gives that speech, you then learn why he can walk into the town snacking on his crackers and saying, give me 10 grand and I'll kill it for you. Because this man has been through hell and lived. It's he's got the balls and the proof to back up what he's saying. So that's why that speech matters so much. So that's why that dialogue is so good.
And I even love that in the part of the story, like, as you're still going, and it's now you're to the part where the plane comes in, and I love that he even stops and says, like, that's the time I was the most frightened, waiting for my turn next. I'm like, Jesus Christ!
Yep.
Not even the sharks that were just attacking you for almost a week. It's like, well, I think that will be more horrifying. It's like their salvation now is like, you've probably accepted you're not going to make it out of this with all these guys in the water. And I don't know how many sharks, maybe 1,000, there's so many sharks just taking you out.
Yep.
But now you have, now it feels like you're on a race against time to get off. It hadn't even happened yet, but that is the last chopper out of Vietnam and you want to get out of the damn water. So,
right.
What are you going to say, Nick?
No, I completely agree. Just the terror of like, just think of that 7 days floating and never knowing. Right.
Well,
and like, you can just
like when
see
he
it.
said he found his friend and his friend was bitten in half. He's like, I thought he was asleep.
Bobbed up like a carrot or whatever, just bobbed up.
Like a top.
A top, yeah.
Well, and it's not just that, but whoever wrote that, you could tell that whoever wrote that had seen some shit. Look at movies today. They don't have the heart and the soul that dialogue used to have, because think about it, back in the day, writers, they went to world wars. They experienced stuff. They saw really bad things. In our modern world, we haven't seen nearly as much trauma and bad, because what happens when you go through trauma? You learn, it imprints on your soul. And the way that the writer put it out in this movie through that scene, and the way that Quint delivers that line, it's just, oh my God, you feel, well, it's like I said a minute ago, it's dad talking. You listen to every word that he says, because this is some biblical shit that he's spilling out of his mouth right now.
100%.
It's not like it was, and it's not like it was that long ago at this point. Like, you're talking 1975. This happened 30 years before.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not that long ago.
Right.
Like, now, that'd be what, 95?
You can imagine if they could expand on this movie, him waking up in a cold sweat from nightmares, being on the boat or something. You could see them filming something like that, because it's heavy stuff.
To be fair, I love that actually the next part. Bruce may not be a fan of sea shanties, because the next thing is, as they're just singing the song, he's just ramming the shit out of the side of the boat, and we're back to it now. The next thing that it's like, it doesn't even seem logical really, but like Quint goes out there with his M1 and just starts fucking firing at the shark. It's like, are you okay, buddy? Like, do you need a minute? Like that is like, he just told that story and was probably still fresh on his mind. He's having this resentment. He's like, I don't care if it works or not. I'm gonna pump a few rounds in this fucking shark now that I've got him. Well,
that's what I'm talking about. That's that underlying tension that he has of the hell that he's been through. He's smiling and singing pirate songs, putting on a good face. But even
he snaps right back. He's like, "Oh, start the motor." Like, oh shit.
You can even tell, like, whenever he drinks that can early in the film and then crushes, the look in his eyes. Right. This motherfucker.
There we go. Hold on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you take that hat off and put a cowboy hat on him in the Old West, that's the OK Corral, buddy. Stuff's about to go down. There's a menacing to him of, he's like I said earlier, he's been through hell. He knows how to survive. That changes a man like that.
That's why you got you've got this, and then on the opposite side you've got Hooper trying his best.
And that's what's so great about this. You have college boy over here who has all the money in the world.
Down.
Yeah, like, you really think the rich boy that can do whatever he wants? You really think you're going to win that argument? Like, you couldn't win that with a grenade launcher on your shoulder. You're not winning.
You got city hands, Mr. Hooper. You've been counting money all your life.
I
didn't sign up for this.
I'm not doing this working class hero crap.
I love
and Brody's like, you're not gonna do this on a boat, are you?
You're not gonna do this on a boat, are you?
Maybe I should go alone. Even he's like, I don't want to do this shit with you guys. Like,
right.
Since it's right before that, there are some cool things in this movie that I love that are like foreshadowing. Like, I love this shot here of like the shark jaw, like the orca going out. like if that isn't just like a really foreboding shot of like that's them going out for the first time. That's like now we're gonna finally take some action and go do something about the shark, and it's shot through the jaws of this jaws of a shark, which is really cool. Where's the other? Oh, I had to include this because that's the line I have on there right now. Go playing with yourself, Cooper. Get up there. I couldn't resist that. But there's foreshadowing. There we go. Jesus. When you get like stuff like this, like with the air tank, it's like you turn to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, like that's a special tool that's gonna help us later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, but I like the way that this movie does suspense. Like, the way some of this is shot. Like I have two shots right here back to back. I'm like, it's after like this, after Brody trips, almost hits the air tank, and he's probably still sitting there eating his crackers, whatever, in his chair. Quinn's sitting there with the chum markers, and he just looks over at that fucking reel, right? Nowhere, like there's a buddy that was in a venturing crew of mine. He was a big fisherman type guy, and we were talking about Jaws for some reason. We were on like a fishing outing, and he was saying it. We were talking about Jaws, and he's like, dude, he's my age. But he's like, dude, that's the goal. He's like, I want to be some like crusty old fucking like shark guy out on a boat like Captain Quint. I was like, that's kind of badass. I could see it, dude. And I've seen pictures of him now where he's down in Florida and he's like catching sharks. So I think we got a future Captain Quint on our hands. But he's talking about this. He's like, that is some real shit. You just start hearing like that reel start clicking, and he just glances at it like that, and then like to this where he's like, okay, we're gonna haul this fucker in. You know what I mean? No words. It's just him strapping that on, clicking it into the reel, and just holding on. And I'm like, okay. I mean, if you really think you're gonna do this,
I can test it. I mean, I'm not a big fisherman like that, but I hunt regularly. I can completely understand the sitting in the tree stand or whatever you will never understand how terrifying the crackling of a tree branch or stepping on a twig. If like, let's say we're out hog hunting or whatever, like we like to do, that can go bad really quick. I mean, Mother Nature is undefeated. Mother Nature beats all. There ain't no beating that horse. She will win every time. And
everything back.
Right. That's what I'm saying. With what you were just talking about, with just a simple clicking of a reel, I mean, go back to Alien. I mean, just right within this tank, you may not see the shark, but something's happening. Because at that point, you've seen them chum the water. The victims have already been killed. How this is going to go. And for this film not to be, realistically, this movie's not that violent and bloody, but it doesn't need to be. It's kind of like Texas Chainsaw, the original. Just when you watch it, what the terror in your mind makes it what you see on the screen even greater. And, movies today don't have that like they used to. So very understated, and it works.
And I think what also adds to that scene with the clicking is because right before that, they're doing the knots. And like, it's just like, Autobots. I can't remember how he goes, but like, and you can see him trying, and then like,
the brown eel goes into the hole, comes out of the hole, around the tree, and out again.
Do it again.
Not too easy, is it, Chief?
Yeah, and then he sits there. And of course, he's sitting there going, and like that's when the first click. And this is the way he's still eating and and like. And he's still going, and he's still like, he gets in, he sinks himself in, and just as he goes, aha, I got it, boom, there it goes, and we're off. That's the first big pop we get, right? And just it's the build, because if it's kind of like a lackadaisy, you don't even think about the scene, and all of a sudden,
it's a roller coaster ride. It's exactly what it is.
That first click, you're like, oh, here we go, right?
It subtly builds to, then of course. Brody being excited, he got the damn knot. And then oh no, it's go time, guys. We gotta throw this boat in reverse and not lose him. And I wish I had the one of like a little bit later, like when he's struggling with it, and he's like, Jesus Christ, and then he stops because he's like, he's gone under the boat. It's like, what? He's where now?
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
should we be concerned? Like,
Yep.
what? Jesus Christ. And I think I have them, like a couple of them, like shooting the barrels. Like the barrels are like a really, again, if you can't see the shark, you have a device in this movie that like it's still terrifying. That like, you know, like that shot of like when they're singing, it's, you know, nighttime. You just see the boat in the distance, and then you just you see one of those damn barrels come up. And you're like, oh motherfucker, here he comes again. You know, it's weirdly like a bunch of barrels like that just fills you with some dread because you know what's on the other end of it.
Well, and that's the thing. Anytime that shark comes around, it's just like, go back to the original Halloween. You don't see Michael Myers unless shit's going to go down, and he comes up silently, and then everybody's going to die. And the way this film takes you on the roller coaster ride of that tick 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 with just the little noises or whichever framing device that they're using to tell it at that particular time, and then it pops off the first time he fully pops out of the water. Everything else, the tension and the explosion. This is one of those movies, even if you've seen it 1,000 times, the first time you see Jaws in this film, you're going to jump a little bit, even if you know to the second when it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's how effective that shot is. And to this day, it still works. It's great.
Because Brody, like, chum in the water.
Yeah.
Like,
and he just backs up and freezes. He doesn't say a word.
Like,
just the way that he
fucking face when you see him pop out of the fucking water. Now, like, there was a shot I had. There was a shot I had of the guy in the boat. That's the dog. Rest in peace to the dog who definitely died. Yeah, Pat. I had a picture of the stick in the water. I was like, no, we'll think of happier times when the dog was still.
Yeah, when the dog was still good.
That sucks. Where
You
is that
eat
damn
people all
picture?
you want, Bruce, but chill out on the dogs, bro.
Right, that's rude as hell. Oh, there it is. When the shark's actually in the pond, like,
look at that shot.
That's, like I said, just barely, not even cresting the water just yet, and he just takes this dude's leg out.
Oh, that is nightmare fuel. Nightmare fuel.
That's what I'm
right
saying.
there.
Like, I know you still think. I mean, we all sit here like Marty McFly and Back to the Future Part 2. You're like, yeah, the shark still looks fake. No, dude, that still is a terrifying. You jump in a swimming pool in the deep end, you're still like, is there a shark in the pool somewhere? You know, I mean, it's a weird irrational fear. In the back of your mind, that even though you know it's not there. I mean, because we've seen shit like this where this thing just nibbles on his leg a little bit. Oh my dear God!
Well, there's a reason why this.
But go ahead.
There's a reason why this film is considered a horror film, and it's not because of what happens in the movie. It's because the effect that it had. This kept people out of any body of water for like years. People stopped swimming because of this movie. You know, this is why this is a horror film, and I know that's a different long discussion. But so many people consider this a horror film, obviously because, you know, people get eaten and whatever. But that happens in all kinds of nature films. But this has a horror atmosphere to it. Like, this could be Alien. This could be Halloween. This is the same kind of monster movie. You know, it's that kind of thing where you don't see it, but you know it's under there. And especially when they're like, like I said, he's under the boat. He's literally right underneath him, and there's nothing that they can do about it. You know the devil is directly below you, and you just have to hope you don't get bit.
You start seeing what you're really up against, and like I said, and that's what this line is. You know, just one of the best parts of this movie. Like, you know, that face Brody makes, and he just slowly backs up into the cabin and just. It's just, I don't know what he was doing.
He just saw the flames of hell for the first time. That's what he just saw. Now he knew what he was dealing with. Yeah, that changes you.
I have a funny story about that scene in particular. There's a big aquarium down near where I live, and they had I think they still have it, if not, or at least when I was a kid, they had a room for sharks, right? And when you go into this room, it's kind of like they got seats, kind of like a little theater. And I feel like I'm quitting telling my own fucking horrifying shark story because I was a little kid. Let me tell you about this.
We're going to start singing pirate songs after this? I'm down for it.
We better, because this, I mean, you know, I had not seen Jaws yet when I was a little kid at this time. So we're going into this theater, and they have this big wall there with a screen down for a projection. And what they show is that scene right there. It's Brody chumming the water and him talking, yeah. And it, he does like I could go slow ahead. Why don't you come down here and shovel some of this shit? And then Jaws pops out of the fucking water, and Brody does the thing. He backs up, says, "You're gonna need a bigger boat." And then you see Quint walk out, and it's like Quint's just staring at it, and it's just that coming closer and closer. And the way they cut it, and I kid you not, they had that scene. It's it's getting tense and more intense. It's all in Quint's face. You see the shark coming, it cuts, and that screen fucking went up. And behind that fucking wall, there was a whole glass aquarium, and then there were sharks in the tank. That was the build up to how they showed that bit of the aquarium, and I was scared out of my I'm sitting there the fuck was that? I'd never seen that movie, and I still remember that. That's
Crazy Blade in the comment section talking about Jaws going at the Universal backlot. I've actually been there. To show the picture more.
Awesome.
I went to Universal Studios in Florida. For the Jaws area was one of the main things I actually wanted to see. I've got another picture of my kid standing underneath that with her head in Jaws' mouth. It's that statue is probably 35 foot tall up on the whole thing. They've got the whole Amity Island set, everything built there. It looks really cool. I love this stuff.
Tiger shark.
Reminds me of that.
There you go.
I've got that. Tiger shark.
Tiger shark.
What? I have to include that because I was going to say, that is something that we literally, me and Gamer, everybody in my circle of friends, and someone said something we didn't understand, I just go, "A what?" That has just entered our fucking lexicon of vocabulary on a day-to-day basis. I don't know why it's
that
so damn
scene
funny,
right there.
What?
Such a heavy switch in momentum too, because they go from we got it to the family of the child that died. The mom comes up and slaps. Oh my God! The mom slaps him and gives her a little speech, and he goes, "Well, she wasn't wrong," and he just has to duck his head and walk away. It's such a disheartening thing because he wanted to shut these things down, but there's nothing he can do about it. Mayor wouldn't let him. It's such a heavy
Because
scene.
right after that, what else would you do?
Yep.
That's something else that Gamer does to me. He just comes in, he's just like, "So how was your day?" I'm like, "Swell."
Now,
the same
does he bring you 2 bottles of wine when he does that? Because that's kind of cool.
To be fair, no.
To be fair,
you know what though? It is to quote Mayor Vaughn, "For Christ's sakes, tomorrow's the 4th of July." I mean, maybe we'll see. We'll see what he does. I told everybody to bring their own drinks.
So while we were sitting here looking, I was like, I gotta find Jaws. It's got to be somewhere. So it's actually going to be up in Calgary, Alberta, at the IMAX on my birthday.
Jaws IMAX.
IMAX.
Oh yes.
Your birthday.
I think I'm going to Calgary for my birthday.
The universe
How quick can I get a passport to Canada?
Yeah,
Is there can you sneak me in the back door somewhere or something?
Or go to Missoula. Missoula's going to have it at their IMAX.
Okay, there we go.
I just popped up IMAX and it says, maybe it's just because it's close to me. But yeah, Calgary's going to have one and Missoula.
I can't wait for it. I mean, for obviously the ones watching. Nick and I were discussing before we went. August, they're bringing back the original Chainsaw and Jaws in theaters.
I should look for that too.
Dude, I can't wait to see both. August is going to be, it's going to be. I mean, that's when my birthday is. But that's going to be part of my birthday present to myself. Is going to those movies. So I can't wait.
I got to send that to the wife right now.
Oh yeah, August 18th is Chainsaw because August 18th is the movie. But Yep.
Where's the picture? I know I have the picture of the little cameo. There he is. The guy on the beach who's the reporter who is Peter Benchley, who wrote the novel, which is, I mean, that's a cool cameo right there to have him be the guy, announcing "Oh yeah, the beaches are open and people are here, but there's a shadow looming over. A shadow in the shape of a killer shark." I'm like, good sell, man. Good sell. So, cool cameo by the writer.
Even read the first, the letter. What the hell is it called? When you a book, they always show they have
the forward.
Yeah, not the forward, but on the cover, when you take it off
like a subtitle, kind of like the.
Yeah, well, it has it describes the first attack. Like you can actually read that without reading into the book, and like it's just the way he tells it. It's like, oh my god, like because you can see the attack because you have Jaws. We've all seen the first attack, and then you take like with the way like it describes how she like reached because she felt something, so she reaches down and all she feels is like the nub of a bone on her leg, and this just the descriptor of him describing this attack is like, holy shit.
I don't say we talk about the opening of this movie. I mean, Jesus Christ, man! Like, you go from drinking beers on the beach with a bunch of teenagers, and then, man, this chick just gets right under the water.
Well, it goes from,
homeboy passed out on the fucking beach, man. You can't hang. What is that? Come on, bro.
Right. I mean, it's a great night. You're at a bonfire. You're getting lit. Old girl wants to have a little fun, running naked into the water. Of course, you're gonna fall, and she's dead. It's kind of how the time goes. But he's so drunker than Cooter Brown, he wakes up the next morning half naked, not knowing what's going on. And I mean, what do you say? Well, I was going to bang her in the ocean, but I passed out over here. So,
I've never been so happy not to get laid.
Right.
Again, I love that the way this movie like it sells it. Like all you see is this cop just like collapse on the ground. He doesn't even want to look at it, and he's just like, I mean, if you saw what's left, that's what I named this picture is what's left of Chrissy. Just like her hand and a bunch of like fucking hermit crabs and shit. It's like, dear God, there was a pic. It's if you look at it for too long, it's like I had the picture of Hooper holding the hand in the autopsy, but it's like, yeah, that's about all that's left of her, unfortunately. I love you in that. Like when you watch like Hooper, like when they say like he's like, hey, can I examine the body? And the guy pulls out like a little tray and he's like,
he just looks
okay.
Like,
pulls up a 5-gallon bucket. There it is. There you go. Good luck.
Here's what's left of her. Hooper pulls that sheet off and that gasp he makes where he's like, so she has no bone left. There's no tissue remaining. Can I have a drink of water, please? Thank you very much.
Yeah. Do not smoke in here.
Right, do not smoke in here.
See, I think I think they could forgive the whole smoking thing just for that one time. Just maybe cover the stench that's coming off of that fish, bucket full of body parts. But
Chrissy's over here smelling like low tide, and you want to light up right now, Chief? Come on.
Just the way he picks up the hand. Right, and he just holds, he just holds the arm up. Right, it's like, and you see the hunk gone. It's like, good Lord.
Oh God. So when I had a picture of the author, the thing we've talked about some of the differences, but like you got to end this movie somehow, right? So now where's that picture I have? There's them getting pulled on the boat. It's like, this is kind of like almost the desperation part of this movie where it's like, what are we going to do? This whole shark is pulling this whole boat back by himself. And I think what I call this, pushing the orca too far. It's like, I love that Quint's not even paying attention to Hooper, which I mean, it's not like he was during the whole movie. I love he's like, Quint, don't push the engine that hard. All you hear is, the engine revs up even higher. He doesn't even look at him. Jesus Christ, like, dude, you're on a suicide mission now. Where's that picture of?
Well, Quint, very reminiscent.
That picture right there is called shitting your pants.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Jesus, now you're like, I love that even like they're screaming at you now, and he's like, "Yo, you want to put the cage in the water?" And Brody's like, "That shark's gonna tear the cage apart." He's like, "You got a better suggestion?" It's like, cut right to.
I guess we don't
put the cage together.
Yeah,
I guess you're going in, buddy. Like.
That's the
little pole with the poison.
That's the moment of like, okay, we've tried everything else. Now it's time to try college boys, highfalutin bullshit. Like everything else is failed.
Quinn's looking like, you're gonna get this little thing through his skin. Well, no, I can't do that. But I can probably pull him with this. Like, no, dude.
But you've got this tiny little orca of a boat. It's barely big enough to hold the 3 men on board or whatever. And then this shark comes out of nowhere and just starts inhaling it. Like, it's almost like it's almost like Bruce's shark is like the size of the shark from the Meg movie or whatever. Like when he attacks this boat, and the way that he is taking it down, and now of course we know the shark didn't work. That's why we don't see it for most of the film. But I love how effectively they used it, even with it being broken. That thing is, I've seen that thing live in person. I went to Universal and seen this stuff. Even knowing it's not real, seeing it in person, you still believe that's a real shark. That's how good that thing was.
Oh yeah, fucking water. I wish I had the picture of like, even though the fun behind the scenes thing is like when the shark just, I think I named one of them Boop, because I love how like there's no. It's just the shark cage in like the left side of the frame, and all of a sudden just whoop, there comes a shark out of fucking the right frame, just bops right into the cage. Yeah. In that picture of his eyes, it's like it's not actually Richard Dreyfuss, it was like someone else, but it's like the fucking terror in his eyes. It's like, yeah, well, this big, I mean, you see his foot right there. It's like this dude could just, as Quentin said, swallow you whole. So
see, that's the one popcorn bucket for this movie that I don't have.
No.
They made a popcorn bucket of the shark cave with him inside of it, and of course it's just metal and painted. But I've yet to find that one person. I found all three others. I haven't found that one. So people really wanted that popcorn bucket.
So interesting about the cage, it was actually three different guys. Okay, so there was Richard Dreyfuss who was in the cage. Then there was like a stunt guy who did the big stuff with Bruce right there, and then so. The scene where the shark is actually on top of the cage, that's actually all real. And it was filmed for the movie. They actually had a smaller cage and had a little person in the cage.
Really?
And what happened was when I just found this out. So they put the cage in the water.
Oh, cool. I knew this. This couple in Australia filmed some actual shark footage for it, and they used it in the film. Yeah.
And the little person went to get into the cage and chickened out. He's like, no, fuck that. I'm out. And he got out, and then it's a good thing he did because the shark ended up, I guess on YouTube, there's the full video. The shark actually gets stuck in the cage. And
it's thrashing on the cage.
And the cage actually falls. Yeah, and then the shark actually gets out. But yeah, like it's a good thing that little person didn't stay in the cage because he would have been in there when that happened.
And that's why they wrote it in the story.
He'd been in there for a little bit.
Yeah, like they got that cool shot of like the shark actually getting entangled in the cage and thrashing around.
Yeah,
because it was a smaller cage, it still gave the grand scale of like the shark looking big. But the awkward part is like the guy's not in the cage, so that's why you have that shot of the shark ramming into it, and then Hooper like getting out and swimming away. Like, yeah, we gotta get to that shot and explain why he's not in the cage.
Explain why exactly. Yeah,
right.
Yep.
Like again, very clever way to use, because that's some cool footage. I mean, it's like you got to use something like that because it looks like he's still attacking the cage.
So I just thought of this because I'm a huge shark fan. I love watching Shark Week, and I like watching those breach videos, right? Like really, if you was from what we know about great white sharks now, like the way they breach when they jump up at seals, with that shot, you would more think he's gonna breach with her, right? You know, because he looks like he's coming straight up at her. You know what I mean? Like have you seen those videos? Could you imagine being the first person to see a great white shark breach? Imagine that you're just filming some seals like and all of a sudden this fucking 15-foot great white shark's like in the air. You're like,
that's what you okay.
I think I would be looking at it like that, like
that, 100%. Yep.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you need to add a This Week in Sharks right after your fuck around and find out on Monday nights. That's what you need to add to your show. That would be great. That'd be a cool segment for you to do.
Well, they got like with these fan pages that I'm on, they actually have some really cool posters from around the world, or then like fan concept picture or posters. And it's like I would say out of every 5 I see, I'd probably put 4 on my wall. That's how cool they all are.
Well, just look at that image right there. I mean, the image that's in the middle of it. Literally, they made a Jaws 50th anniversary cut of that image. I mean, literally side by side. Yeah, I mean, there are thousands of t-shirts, posters, images have been made of that.
We talk about like simplicity. Like this just does it. It's just this big fucking shark. It's his mouth down there. The girl swimming across. It just says Jaws. You got the water line. Like we talk about the Batman poster, it's just Batman
Right.
on a black background.
Well,
with a gold letter. Simplicity.
It's not out yet, but it's coming from McFarlane Toys. They have these line. It's Movie Maniacs. It's called, and it's like 7 or 8 inches tall. It's on a base, and it's the woman swimming and the big shark head sticking out. That is so iconic. Like when you go to an AMC movie, like they show like outlines of like Spider-Man, Zorro. This scene from Jaws is one of them. There was a theater I used to go to. They had famous movie scenes, like literally painted on the walls. This scene was one of them. This is, I'd say, easily top 5 most recognizable movie moments ever, because everybody knows this. It's so simple. It's just a girl swimming in the deep blue sea, and the devil was underneath her because she's about to go to hell. You know, tremendous iconography.
Hell yeah.
And I have this poster upstairs. I have the movie poster, not an original, of course, but
Still.
Dude, that thing would be worth a bunch of money.
If you could get an original, my goodness, could you imagine?
I wouldn't be doing the show if I had that kind of money. I'll tell you what.
And another
Frank has a website where he's shown on here a few times.
Oh, I've been on
where
it.
they have.
I was about to look it up. Like, I don't know if I want to look for it now, because I might.
Oh, I'm sure it would be thousands of dollars for a first run print movie poster of Jaws. I'd say $1,500 minimum for a original.
Movieposters.com.
I'm not sure what it is.
That simple?
Oh, if Frank is watching, maybe he could post it or whatever. But yeah, he's got a website where they sell. But yeah, no, it's the image itself is just so cool.
My first thought was like, can I go on there and find one of those Spider-Man posters where he's got the World Trade Center in his eye? Can I find one of those? No,
yeah.
Okay.
Right before
they reprints, but I would still love to have one. I don't think there were any originals. Right. Like, I would still love to have one, man.
So I don't know what this is. I'll pop it up here. Oh, it's a Spanish one or some crap. But this one,
El Jaws. El Jaws.
It's like Los Squalo. So I think Squalo was like, well, remember, because that's what he said. He had what was the name? There was a name that he called, like a squall, like a shark that hunts.
Right.
So this one Canadian is $1,270, and it's been folded to shit. Like
Frank's,
it's not
Frank's looking for the
Frank's website.
For the website.
Yeah. They'll tell you if they're rolled or if they're folded. So it kind of helps you know like which one.
Right.
Yeah,
but so my favorite band is the Canadian band Tragically Hip, and before the lead singer passed away, they did a tour, and I think it was the second to last show. He wore a Jaws shirt on stage,
nice,
like the white one with the movie poster. Yeah, I'm just
even music wise with Jaws. Nick, you know the band Ice Nine Kills, right? The metalcore band.
Yeah, my kid loves them. Yep.
I love Ice Nine Kills. If you listen to their the first Silver Screams album that they did, each song was based on a different horror franchise.
Yes,
and they did one for Jaws. I forget the name of the song. Yeah, there's one. It's on the first Silver Scream. I can't remember the name of the song, but they did one for Jaws on there. It's a really good song.
Rocking the Boat.
Rocking the Boat, yeah, that's what it is. It's literally the song starts. Shark, like it's an awesome song. It's really cool. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jaws is everywhere. You can just walk down the street going, dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it. People know exactly what you're doing. It's that sound alone.
The first two notes.
It's all it needs to be.
Yeah. Ooh. Right. Ooh. I know.
Well, think about it. In this time, Michael Myers had his dinner. Jason had. Everybody. You didn't need a massive soundtrack. You needed that one or two notes to capsulate an entire. I wish I could go back in time and see these movies for the first time ever. The first time they ever came out.
Yes.
Could you imagine seeing this Chainsaw, the original Friday, the original Halloween, seeing these things, not seeing them through jaded eyes like we all have.
Yeah.
But hearing that for the very first time, that would be
Remember that time on this show somewhere where I said The Exorcist was cute? I was like, that's a great movie, isn't it?
Right. Oh, God bless my grandmother. God rest her soul for showing me The Exorcist. I was like 5 or 6 years old when I first saw Exorcist and Chainsaw and all these movies. I thank her every day because she opened me up to a whole world that if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here right now. Jaws, she showed me Jaws for the first time. You know, I love these old movies.
I was just thinking full circle, Tex, if you can remember. I think the only series, well, there's more probably. Like there's Lord of the Rings music, but I think of like a song where you know right away would be like Jurassic Park.
Oh,
like
yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like that's, I mean, it's not as iconic.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because Jaws is literally the 2 notes, right?
Well, I was gonna say we could sit here and talk about John Williams all day. We're like,
right?
Oh, geez.
If it weren't for Jesus Christ, if it weren't for John Williams, we wouldn't know that
Superman,
we didn't know that Superman could fly.
Yeah,
that
right.
Harry Potter was this magical world. You know what I mean? Like this dude, I could do a whole show on just John Williams because I was also a band nerd. So I'll geek out over some fucking music.
The importance of music or a soundtrack.
Frank says there's an original Jaws 2 print that's almost $1,000 for Jaws 2. Holy moly!
So if you think about one, I mean, it's
okay. Take my $1,500 and double it for a Jaws 1. $3,000 minimum. Yeah, that's crazy.
He says there's also a couple of foreign language ones that are a couple hundred. So yeah, no, this is
okay. Well,
I believe that. That's still pretty
I
cool.
would be happy with a foreign language original Jaws. I could deal with that.
A mint one, yes.
You're right. Yeah. A mint, if it's mint foreign language, fine. Now, I'd pay like $500. Now, assuming I had the money to spend, like $500 for a semi-good English one, I'd prefer. But hell, that's it's a piece of history, right? That's crazy.
All right.
It sucks now because at this point, if you were to ever find like an old movie theater, it's already been picked through. You would never get that lucky to find something.
Oh God.
Right. Yeah. Still wrapped up, or you know what I mean, right? So.
Right.
Well, actually, thank you. Speaking of wrapping up, the end of this movie, like I said, when I was trying to find the author,
great.
Apparently, it's like the ending. It's almost like I do YouTube or something. The ending of this movie.
We're
like I'm an actor or some shit. Like,
we're kind of professional.
I'm an actor. I know how to segue into some shit. I know how to redirect. I do that for a living.
Right.
During the season. But
we're good at the yes and.
Yeah, the ending of the book and the ending of the movie are obviously two different things. Like, it's almost like this is real life. It's like this is movie. In movies, shit blows up all the time, even if it doesn't make sense. Because there's always a joke that like, man, I don't know what they were making things out of in the 70s, but like everything just exploded for some damn reason. It happened in the 80s too. Weird shit.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, where's that?
Add the Wilhelm scream. Don't forget that.
Well, I mean, no. Speaking of screams, man, I don't know if I have that picture of Quint, but man, like this poor dude, like this is how this shit ends for him, man. He slides down the boat as it's sinking, quite literally just right into his mouth. And I love that even if you look at it, it's real subtle. He's even got like a machete in his hand. He's still fighting this shark, stabbing him in the side of the head, fighting for his damn life. It's like you kind of have to know it's over, man. And movie deaths that upset me a little bit. It's like, damn it, you were a great character. I loved what you did throughout this whole movie, and I hate to see you go out like that. But man, for it to, like we said, for it to go out that way,
realistically, how else would you have him die? I mean,
I know it's like right in the mouth of this shark. Yeah, but like I mean, when it bites down, you hear that crunch, and you hear him just screaming. It's like Jesus, and even though it's like
the blood,
and even though this guy is like he's a badass. You wouldn't want to fight him in a bar, or like I said, unless you're some big Chinese fella pulls him right over in an arm wrestling contest. But like
snapped it right over.
I can't extend this. You know why? You got an arm wrestling contest in an Okie bar in San Francisco. Celebrate my third wife's to me. This big Chinese fella pulled me right over. This fucking guy. But like, man, you can hear him like panicking, like kicking at the shark, just like trying everything he can. Yeah, but I mean, Jesus, I don't know what else you would do. And then we get again the foreshadowing. I wish I had the picture of it, like the picture of the in the book Brody was reading at the beginning of the movie, where he sees the tank in the shark's mouth. So it all kind of came back full circle. I love this shot here again. Horrifying. Like we saw it like barely cresting in that on that guy in the boat, but my God, this fucker is out of the water. He just wants to, hug Brody's face as the ship's going down.
Great shot, iconic. That just from viewing that image, I can see every second of this film happening. This is, I mean, y'all know, y'all seen this as much as I have. Like it's imprinted in your brain. You can't not see that. Tremendous.
You know what's coming.
Right.
Again, a great
smile, you son of a bitch.
Right there, it's going down. Smile, you son of a bitch. Yep. Boom. I think I have smile, you son of a, and I have boom.
That's amazing.
What else would you? I mean, and then I love that he's just hysterical because it's like Jesus Christ, we finally got this damn thing, and dealt with it. And a weird symmetry, and I think Spielberg's even talked about this in the next shot when the shark's going down in the water, blown in half. If you listen real close, you hear there's like kind of a low like like a noise that goes.
Yep.
I think you know what I'm talking about. It's a weird symmetry that between this and his previous movie Duel with the big truck. The truck makes the same noise when it goes over the hill. And I love how Spielberg's like, oh, I was young and dumb. I thought I was being clever. Like all these two big forces of nature, or like, well, basically, nature and machine have this weird symmetry. He's like, I don't know why I did it. I was like, no, that's cool. I love that you put a weird tie-in. Yeah. And of course, I put like happy ending, I guess. I mean,
well, that's that moment of that's the we just became best friends moment of we just went through hell together.
It really is.
That's what that is. Yeah.
And then, I mean, again, these damn barrels just carrying the plot and the two leads back to shore. Like, I love their dialogue. He's like, I used to be afraid of the water, and I love how Hooper's just like, yeah, I can't imagine why. That's it. That's the movie.
Yeah,
can't imagine why.
And it was, I've heard some people say the ending of this movie is kind of understated and it just kind of goes by, but it's perfect.
Did you not see him shoot the shark?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. You've got your climactic moment. Now you have to also understand the person that said this didn't watch a movie that wasn't made after 1992 or something. Like they hated old film, so they didn't appreciate the simplicity of it. But what is when you realistically look at this film, this movie it's kind of in the format of a Western. It's a Western on the ocean. The shark is the big bad guy that rolls into town. The sheriff has to take him out and get rid of the outlaw. The ending is the shootout at the OK Corral. And it's perfect. It's simple. It's understated. I mean, this movie's like 2.5 hours long, and it does not feel it when you watch it. It goes by in a heartbeat. It is amazing how well the pacing is incredible.
Spielberg eventually even like fought about the ending because he was like, he didn't like it. And I love what Spielberg told him. He's like, look, if I've had them for the last 2 hours, they're going to believe anything I do in the next 2 minutes. Because they're like, that doesn't happen. Sharks don't bite the tank. You don't just shoot it with a fucking gun and boom, he blows up. And he's like, I don't care. That's the end of the movie, and that's what we're doing.
And then and then you hear when people like Richard Dreyfuss talked about it, and I know there's someone talked about it that when they went and watched the movie for the first time, like the credits start rolling, and of course you see Brody and Hooper coming onto the beach, and and Dreyfuss is like, nobody moved.
Yeah.
Nobody did anything in the crowd.
It's quiet.
It's quiet.
As
soon as they hit the beach, everybody started clapping and screaming. It's like,
that's fair.
Have you ever heard of that? Like, they were that into it. They wanted to make sure that our heroes got to the beach.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Because you don't want some other shark comes up and just grabs one.
Yeah, say another shark. Ha fuckers.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
Yeah, right?
There's your sequel.
There's your sequel right there.
No, see, if this was a Marvel movie, like there would have been another shark like off in the distance watching this stuff go down, and that's Jaws too, because he wants revenge for his buddy that got killed. Other Jaws will return in Jaws too. That's how modern day would do it.
I was thinking it'd be like the first newer Halloween there when everyone thought Michael burned up, and then
in the basement,
breathing and the basement. Well, instead this time it could show like the boat, and all of a sudden you see just
Well-
a fin just go by, just a fin.
Think about 3 of the biggest movies from this time period: Jaws, Texas Chainsaw, and Halloween. How does Halloween end? Michael gets shot 6 times, falls out of the balcony, and then he just vanishes. And then you see all the houses where stuff happened. Texas Chainsaw, the dude wearing the mask is dancing out on the road, and the girl screams. This movie, they just swim back to the ocean. And guess what? Those 3 movies literally created franchises that they still bank on today because were they simple? Yes, but they were effective and they left an imprint on your soul. That's how good they were.
So
I love all
I
of it.
think
Go ahead.
the
Go
ending
ahead,
of
Jeremy.
Texas. I'll say just real quick. The ending of Texas Chainsaw. The first time I saw that, because you're
it's
still in
like-
that, like
Yes.
you're in the chase. He's in the
Yeah.
sunset. That is a
Yes.
beautiful shot of him just in the
Yeah.
sunset,
Spinning.
swirling the saw,
Yeah.
and it just stops. And I'm
And-
like,
yeah. You're
I
like,
was sitting with my mouth was open. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? And then
you're like,
credits,
what
I'm
the
like,
fuck just happened?
it
You're like,
just stops. I'm like,
I remember
what?
the first thing I thought
Yeah.
was, what happened to the trucker? Like, what happened?
Well, actually, watch Texas Chainsaw 3. No, watch let's see.
When they, it's
Texas
Original
Chainsaw
Black
3D. You see
Yeah.
him on a
Yes.
hook in the back of the truck. Yes, Texas Chainsaw
That's
3D.
right, you
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I just add to Texas. I just listened to an interview with Kane Hodder, and he
Ooh,
did Kane Hodder. Jason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason. Yeah.
He said,
I got
ooh,
the
he
name.
said, ooh, he knows
Hold
what
on,
that is.
I'm going somewhere
Oh, I
with
know
this.
who
Sorry.
that is.
And he's talking
Oh,
about how he actually did the stunt work for
For 3.
video game and the video
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
and he
Mhm.
had to do the chainsaw dance. He called it like at the end, right? Like when Junior's spinning the saw, right?
Right.
Kane had to do it, and he's like,
I
"Yeah,
have
that's
the
awesome."
poster for the video
There it is
game.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kane,
For the
he's
game.
like, I can't believe like the mammoth of a
Right.
man that Gunnar Hansen was
Gunnar Hansen. Yeah.
spin to
Oh,
spin that chainsaw the way he did. Because Kane Hodder, he's not a tall dude, but he's a big guy. But he's like,
big dude.
I had a hell of a
I
time
met
swinging
him
that
years
chainsaw.
ago at HorrorCon
I-
down here. Yeah, he was huge.
And like, yeah, Gunnar, I guess like, and he's like, I don't know how Gunnar made it look so easy, spinning that chainsaw around, doing the chainsaw
Trust
dance.
me, because you probably know too. I work in a haunt, and what I did for the longest time, what I started doing for the first couple of years was chainsaws. I tried that shit, and it is not easy.
No,
I couldn't like
Oh, yeah.
gracefully even like.
I'll-
I've told people like we have ones that also like shoot out sparks, and I'm like, I got a way to hit the lever to shoot the sparks out of the end of the bar,
Mhm.
but I've done it in a way where I'm like, because it's a it's a cave, so it's rock. I'm like, if you do it right, I've told kids, I'm like, it's a dance. Just trust me here. I've been able to like swing myself around and look like I like just showered a bunch of sparks on the ground and like hit it on the ground without actually doing it.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
making it
cool.
look convincing, or like putting it like through a fence and like trying to saw through something. I even held it above my
Oh,
head
we
and ran
so
and hit the lever and went down the wall like I was scraping the ceiling. And I'm like, you gotta be careful. but,
we
like,
got to
if you
do
can
a
swing it-
Texas
Make it
Chainsaw
look
review next month for the 50th anniversary of Chainsaw, and we
Hell
got to have
yeah.
Nick back for that one too. You got to come back for that one next month if we do it. Hopefully we do. But
Oh, I gotta
yeah,
put the suit and the mask back on. God damn it.
dude, I could do 5 hours on Chainsaw by myself.
Oh.
I no prep needed. I've got a lifetime
Yeah,
of
I don't need
knowledge.
it
I'm
either.
ready.
Yeah, actually, so we're going
I watch it every
back
year.
home for vacation, and the Friday after our big party we're calling it Texas Chainsaw Day. My niece has
Oh,
not
sweet.
watched the original, and she
What?
refuses. She refuses to
Damn.
watch it till Uncle Nick's there to watch it with her. She
Oh,
won't
man,
watch
man.
it. She's watched everything else. She won't watch the original because she knows it's my favorite. She's waiting for Uncle
I'm
Nick to watch
so
it.
jealous. Getting
Yeah.
to watch that glorious piece of art for the first
Yeah.
time again.
With my niece, I'm so excited.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
But that's my point is with the ending of this movie, Chainsaw and Halloween, is it's simplistic and it's effective and it works. And it
Mhm.
has lasted 50 years.
Yep.
Smile, you son of a bitch. That's all
Yep.
that we need. We didn't need post-credit scenes. We didn't need Jaws will return in Jaws 2.
Yep.
It worked. Now, once again, the sequels are probably should never existed, but
I ain't talking about that.
you know,
Um,
whatever. But
you described watching, like, could you imagine being in a theater watching? You just went on this huge roller coaster, and like, can you imagine the feeling? Like, even now, I've seen Jaws like a ton. I won't say a bazillion times, but
hundreds of times,
a lot.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like, you're still going,
Mhm.
you're still in your head going, hit that fucking tank, hit that fucking
Yeah.
tank.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you imagine the first time watching that going, hit it? Ah, hit it, hit
Oh,
it. He's
shit,
coming,
yeah.
right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
could you imagine being just
I mean, you kind of right there with Brody. Like as soon as you see it, and you see the bits coming
Yeah.
out, he's like,
yeah.
he's so happy. Yeah,
Yep.
like how do you not
Well,
want to cheer? Man?
it's such a adrenaline dump that you get. Just like Nick was saying, you've seen it 1,000 times. You know exactly word for word what's going to happen,
Mhm.
but it still hits. It still holds up. And you know, I mean, I love the Sharknado movies. I've seen every one. I love every one of them. I love so many shark movies. But the ending of this movie will never be topped in a shark movie. It's so simple. It's low tech, and damn it, it works. It's awesome on every level.
You got to think too. At the end of the movie, like after Brody does that, I mean, he's had his moment there, and you see him just kind of resting on the boat. At that point, he still thinks Hooper's probably dead. He just saw Quint die,
Right.
and he's sitting in the ocean, kind of like, well, now what? You know. And I love that, like when you see Hooper pop back out of the water, and he swims over to him. All they do is just like they do that nervous, like,
Yeah.
Right. Well,
like that.
What do you
laugh,
say? You're like,
goddamn,
you know, you hungry? You want lunch?
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
hey.
what do you say? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you just
what is today? Is it Tuesday? No, it's
Yeah.
it's Wednesday. Like, I think
Wednesday.
the tide's with us. I'm like,
Tide's
well,
with us,
we're
yeah.
just having a conversation.
So I gotta mention this before I forget it again because we're so far into the show. I forgot to, and this was pointed out.
I'm doing trivia next. Go ahead.
Okay, but I didn't notice it. Maybe you're gonna talk, and I'm not trying to
I don't
just
know.
take away your shit. But
don't
I
worry.
didn't never really notice this until like it was really pointed out when the shark attacks the Kittner boy on the beach, and you watch Brody, when Brody runs up there to the water, he like tap dances the water. Because it's just showing, like, even in a moment where he's the chief of police, he's like nothing he can do. It's a shark, but he won't even go into the water. He literally, as the water comes up, he backs up, and then the wave goes back, and he goes out to the water. But he moves with the water, and it's just that subtle stuff that I've watched it 100 times, and I've never clued into. Oh shit, he wouldn't even go in the water there. Right.
Well, like I said, I never noticed the damn car. He's not just the mayor. I never.
And another look we didn't talk about was when Quint goes to get I think this is the boat stalled out. Quint's got his hat back on, his coat on, and he goes and he looks at the life jacket, and he says, "Snaps the string," and he turns around and walks out. It's like he's like, even if you had never seen like, oh, he's going down with this motherfucker. He said he wouldn't put one on. And he's not.
He walks out. And he's like, "Here you go, Hooper, Chief."
Yep.
And he just stands there with all his old gear on.
Yep.
He's like, "All right."
Yep. Because just the way he even snapped the string a bit, like, not happening.
Captain goes down with his ship. That's why that dude's a legend. I don't know how you would even quantify greatest roles of all time, but Quint has to be considered on that list. Just so cool in this movie. He's so good.
Okay, where's my arrow? Good Lord. I'm not even going to entertain that comment. All right, let's go to the trivia now. Let's get use this picture because, like we were saying, I love this story. I've heard of this one. Several decades after the film's released, Lee Fierro, who plays Mrs. Kentner, walked into a seafood restaurant and noticed on the menu there was a Alex Kinter sandwich. And she had commented that she had played the mother many years ago. Jeffrey Voorhees, which is one hell of a name to have, the manager of the restaurant, is the same kid who played Alex. He ran out to meet her, and they had not seen each other since the original movie when the movie was shot.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty damn cool. I'm like, hey, this kid became still lived there and made like a sandwich about, I'm like, hey, I had this one moment in the movie where I turned into a bloody raft, and that became a whole.
Yep, and I'm still making money off it.
Oh hell yeah, I would.
Yep.
All I don't know. There's got to be a picture of the shark somewhere. I definitely had way too many damn. Let's get this one. That's a good shot. Over 67 million people in the U.S. went to see this film when it initially released in 1975. Just under a third of the country's total population at the time, making it, of course, the first summer blockbuster, as we mentioned. I mean, yeah, that's
100%.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that's
I know
the
there's
thing
always
is 67 million people saw this movie, and it traumatized every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm trying to think of another movie that had it anywhere near. Like, I know when Blair Witch, the first Blair Witch came out, The Exorcist, another, Halloween was another one. There's been a few movies that had an effect, but like this was the first one, man. I mean, even with something like Psycho or like Night of the Living Dead, as big as they were, Jaws was still, I mean, literally the first summer blockbuster, you know, and there's no way Spielberg knew what he was creating when he made this movie.
Oh, no.
How could you?
God, no.
How could you plan that? He was just making you know, who knows?
Even on a lesser scale, I think when I was on vacation once, and you know, back in the day, kids, you had to take movies with you and like a laptop or a portable DVD player to have entertainment
Right.
when you're on the stick. I watched Ghostbusters. I had it on DVD, and I was watching it. My mom was kind of just in and out watching it, and she's like, you know, I feel like at the time they didn't think that movie was going to be as big as it is now. Like, still to this day, I was like, that's kind of fair. I don't think they really thought that was really going to hit the way it did, and good thing it did do that. Like, you know, same with this. See, I was going to mention this. I was like, I think we mentioned it before, but that statistic also does include my wife's parents.
That's awesome.
There's a
Rachel's parents, aren't they more religious or no?
That's the funny thing is because Frank did say, like, I didn't think your parents strike as horror fans.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll tell you. Here's the too long didn't read, as the kids say. And it's a funny story. They had met at a summer camp. They met at a summer camp. They were both working there, and they were planned. And it's going to sound funny because I'm already going to ruin the joke. But they had a night swim planned later that night at the camp. Like all the staff and shit were going to get together.
Oh shit!
And so, but that movie was
that's
out.
How Rachel got go at summer camp. There you go.
Well, no, that was 1975. That was not.
Jeremy's like, shut the fuck up and try to tell a story.
I'm telling a story. No, so they saw that movie. It had come out that same summer. They went to go see it, and to no one's shock, no one went to the swim afterward.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Weirdly enough.
Yeah. 100%. I've told stories like swimming in a fresh in Morphe Lake. The fresh.
She did say
Christian summer camp. Oh, I've been to the
summer camp.
Okay.
She said,
no, they're not. They were. Like I said, they were working when they met there, and they were supposed to have a night swim in Lake Erie. But after watching the movie, no one wanted to go. No surprise.
Exactly.
I can't imagine why.
I've spent many a fun time with the Christian preacher daughter that she was a real good girl, if you know what I'm saying. So I get it. It's all good. So.
All right, we're not talking about my marital affairs. Where's the damn?
But swimming in fresh water back home, where me and Alex are from, and you'd be like swimming out like pretty deep, and all of a sudden you could see that. Thinking about it now, the image of the shark sideways. You're like, why am I thinking about this when I'm in an abyss of water right now? What the fuck is wrong with me? And like literally, you can't do nothing. I'm way off the shore.
Well,
if it's my time, it's my time, I guess. In fresh water in northern British Columbia.
Yeah, I mean, shit. All right, let's get this one going.
There it is.
Yeah. Real short one.
The only
Bruce
good
the Shark
quality of a
only has
kill.
4 minutes of what?
Go ahead, go.
The shark only has 4 minutes of screen time. That's what that was. So.
That's unreal.
That's crazy.
That's crazy to think, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 minutes.
The
other kill that I think that'll take for number 2. The only thing I'm going to say about any of the other movies, another one that is a fear-inducing death is when the red boat flips over and the girl's trying to climb back up on the boat, and you see Bruce just coming out of it. Like that's nightmare fuel too. Like you just see the head coming up before he eats her. It's like, oh my god.
Well, I never got to use this picture, but here's some nightmare fuel. I mean, when you see a fin in the water, and it's just these two little punk ass kids, and you see this motherfucker staring down the barrel of a fucking M1, a whole firing squad. Kid, you almost got shot for fucking around. That's called finding out right there.
That's a good
terrifying.
fuck around to find out.
That right there.
I
I'm
love
sure
that
the
part of
ocean
the
was
movie
warm
though,
up there.
where every Johnny redneck with a shotgun and a boat is going out to hunt this thing. And for anybody who's seen Halloween 4, they're going to go find Michael because you don't have a police force and everything else. It's the same exact sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're probably going to kill each other before they kill the shark, and you just know bad things are going to happen.
Yeah, so I
It's
got
like,
that picture
you know,
of everyone. Everyone's like, "Ooh,
right.
where's that sign? Ooh, there's a reward. Is that in cash or check?"
Yeah.
You know, but
I don't
Right.
find that funny. That's not funny.
That's not funny. I'm
funny.
sorry.
That's not funny.
Whatever, lady. Are you going to close the beach? Yeah, in your shop too, just for being a dick. Anyway. Where the heck? Ooh. I know about this
candy.
one. This is yeah. I get so excited. That's what I'm saying. I still get excited about this goddamn movie. We didn't use this yet. This
Mr.
you
Gardner.
want to talk about nightmare fucking fuel. Jesus
No
Christ.
shit.
The scene where the head pops out from the hole in the boat was not originally scripted. Director Steven Spielberg said he, quote, got greedy after he saw the previous audience reaction to the scene where the shark jumps out from behind. Oh, wrong one. Whatever. It's when the shark jumps out from behind Brody's head, and he said, I just wanted one more scare. Well, I was going to say, I know they filmed this like in his fucking like swimming pool or something. They had to redo it because it wasn't done right.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't get the head to do the right thing. And it's like, that is one of the first, like, that is still unsettling as shit when his head pops right out of the water right in Hooper's face.
Yep.
And I love that poor guy. He dropped the shark tooth.
Yeah.
I don't know. He dropped it. I had an accident. I'm like, no one asked, man. It's okay.
So to get the effect of the murkiness of the water, they put, what did they say? Carnation milk in the water in the pool to get it all gummed up.
Yeah. What else we got? Well, I had that picture, but I had too many pictures, so we're gonna go with look at that, Brody. Sick vandalism.
Yeah.
I love that shot. Roy Scheider
up by the
stated,
little Buster Browns.
That's a blatant disrespect to public property. I almost think he wants pictures of Spider-Man next. Jesus Christ. Roy Scheider stated in an interview that the scene where Lee Fierro, who is Mrs. Kinter, smacks him in the face, she actually did hit him. Apparently, the actress couldn't fake a slap, so 17 takes were some of the most painful of Scheider's acting career, he says. Also, Lee Fierro stated in several interviews that one of the takes where she slapped him, his glasses did actually fly off. Jesus.
Hey, you know what? The pain of the slap will go away, but the effectiveness of the real slap in the shot will last forever. You know,
100%.
you just got to deal with it. It's one of those things.
That's one of those apologize later things.
Right. Well, it's, hell, Toby Hooper had the same problem in Chainsaw where the cook is beating Marilyn Burns with the broom. They used a fake one and it looked horrible, so they literally had to pull it out. And by the end of it, the shot worked. It's, that era in filmmaking.
When they were trying to cut her finger open to put the blood in Grandpa's mouth, they actually cut her finger open with a knife.
Really?
Yeah.
That's right. Yes,
yeah.
That's right.
That shot in the movie is real. They actually cut her finger open because they couldn't get it to work. Prosthetic and blood. They said, "Fuck it."
You got to think this is the 70s. I mean, hell, to get Reagan's head snap in The Exorcist, Friedkin fired off a shotgun just off set where nobody could see him to get that instant reaction of her turning her head.
Same in,
and then the mom getting pulled by the rope. Right? Yeah, this was the 70s. They didn't have, we'll do it in post. We'll do CGI or whatever.
Yep.
They didn't have that. They were actual artists back then. They're not computer techs like nowadays. They were better back then.
Yep, 100%.
Let's get shooting barrels. There we go. Director Steven Spielberg said his biggest fear, other than the appearance and performance of the mechanical shark, was that any of the cameras could catch the sight of land. The reason Spielberg didn't want land to be seen in any of the shots is because he thought the audience would envision the characters just having to, the option of running back to shore when there was danger. So he wanted to isolate them as much as he could to make it seem like there was no escape. I'm like, yeah, I love that choice. Like every single like horizon line you see is like, no, there's nowhere to. You guys can't run. You're out here with this shark, man. So
terrifying.
You don't.
Yeah. I mean, you're basically. I mean, you might as well be on the moon when you're that far out in that little of a boat. You know, I mean, there's nowhere to go, and literally the thing that you're hunting is directly below your boat for a good chunk of this movie. And you know, good luck.
He's gone out of the boat. Let's get that cool shot of the shark teeth. There we go.
Great shot.
Quint's boat is, as we said, named the Orca. Being a shark hunter by profession, Quint knows that orcas, traditionally known as killer whales, are the only known predator of a great white. So Quint's got some jokes. He knows what he's doing. Hell of a thing to name your boat, man.
You don't get to be that cool and have that much swagger without, being the man. So, it's all good.
I like when he's telling them when Hooper wants to get the picture, he's like, "Go to the end." He's like, "For what?
Why?
I need for scale. What?"
He's like, "God damn it! Hold on."
He's like, "That's what he's looking." What?
God. It's like it's real shit. You feel like that's a real conversation. That's fear, man. I'm telling you.
100%.
God. Let's get a picture of the beach open. Why not? Director Steven Spielberg shot roughly 25% of the film from water level to provide viewers the perspective as if they were treading in the water with the people. Yeah, I've noticed that where it feels like you're right at level. Like I wish I had the picture of that shot right before that guy in the boat gets eaten. It's right at the level of that girl, like that woman who sees it and she's like looking and goes like, "Oh my God," and turns around and swims the other direction. Yeah, that'll do it for you.
Just thinking, I'm just kind of looking at other stuff we haven't discussed yet, like things to lighten up the movie, like when Michael's sitting in the boat and he's in this boat, he can't, and then she's looking at the book, slams it shut. No. Michael, dang it, brother, out of the water now, and he's like, "What just happened?
What? I thought we were gonna get drunk and fool around. What the fuck are you going for?
What just happened?"
Well, actually, there's one that's not in here. Before I, down the mood even more. Where's that shot? There it is. There's this shot, which kind of just seems, it's just the tourists coming in the town. But there is a whole theory here, and it comes from none other than Stephen King's son. The lady off on the very far left of the picture in the white t-shirt and the blue bandana.
Yeah.
There is a theory that there in the summer, oh God, what was it? The summer of like 74. And it was only about 100 miles from where they filmed this movie. There was a murder that took place, and there was an unidentified woman that had been found, and she was murdered. She had on jeans, maybe not quite like that, but she had on jeans and she had a blue bandana underneath her head, and she was like partially decapitated, or like someone tried to cut her wrists, her hands off of her wrists. No one ever identified this body, and I mean, it's Stephen King's son. It's a wild theory, but there's a theory that woman right there could maybe have been her, because they saw that's not the best shot I have of her, but like when she kind of turns her head to the side, his son said like he saw the composite sketch of her and he got freaked out because he's like, she looks eerily similar. So there's a weird, and it's about the right time. It's in the summer of 74, like 100 miles from where they filmed this movie. So it's like, it's a weird theory that they think maybe this girl could have been this unidentified murder victim.
Well,
it's called The Lady of the Dunes. If anybody wants to look that up, it's
not even Jaws that was the only one that was hunting Amityville at this time. There was that house over there too. That's getting a little nefarious at that time. So I'm just saying,
just like the
crossover potential.
Like hospital orderlies and The Exorcist. Like, don't trust that guy.
Right. What I'm saying.
A picture of the shark. I say that, and he's got 4 minutes of screen time. The poor guy. The bite strength of a great white has been estimated at 1.8 tons. Yeah, I wouldn't want to. Well, I mean, yeah, if you see, as we saw, I mean, yeah, it's that kind of sucks having that kind of bite force come down on you. Good.
Well, that's one of the things that hell, that's why sharks get their own week, like Nick was talking about earlier, on television and everything else. I mean, it's not like we're learning anything particularly new about sharks, but we keep making movies about them and they keep getting talked about for a week every year. I mean, I've got a shark tooth on my necklace that was a gift to me that I wear every day. They're just awesome animals.
There was a really cool National Geographic. They tagged a shark, a female great white, to see her pattern where she swam, and she swam like 3,000 miles or something, and to depths that they didn't even know these things went. It was crazy, to watch her swim and how deep.
Can they follow airplanes? Because I think I've heard about a movie.
Can they jump the boat?
Maybe.
All right, where's that goddamn picture? All right, this is an interesting one. Let's talk about, as Frank says, what could have been. Gene Hackman was considered for the role of Martin Brody.
Ooh.
So, right around the time. See, this is right around the time of Lex Luthor, Gene Hackman. So what do you think about that?
Yes, Superman. Was that 78? Wasn't it?
78, yeah. About 4 years before this. Yeah.
See, I want to go to the multiverse where Gene Hackman played in this movie. Could you? I'd like to see that.
I think it could work. I mean, I'm happy with what they made, but I mean, I don't know.
Of course, yeah. I have no complaints about this movie. This is one of the few films that I can't really nitpick too much. It's one of the very few. But
yeah, I kind of like that. Interesting choice.
Was there any other for Quinn?
Actually, what's hilarious? The next one is literally about Quint. So
okay.
See, we're getting better with this. Look at us with these transitions. We're killing it, guys.
Nailing it.
If you mean for casting, no, I'm sorry. Like the next one is about Quint, but not.
Damn.
I'm sorry. I realized what you meant. I read the first word, said Quint. I was like, actually, the next one's about Quint. I'm sitting here looking for that damn picture of him eating the cracker. There we go.
There it is.
It's a great shot. In the movie, Quint asks for $10,000 to catch and kill the shark. In 2024 money, that would equal about $58,000. 58 and a half. So
yeah. Well, I mean, have you ever went on a trip to the ocean and just saw how much it costs just to rent a jet ski for a day? I mean, my Lord, these things ain't cheap.
No, I've seen how much it takes to take a Pringles tube down there and get fucking imploded because you're an idiot. I've seen that. I'm not going to mention names, but, Jesus Christ.
Oh, you know what? Just for the fact that he walked in that way and demanded the 10, they should have paid him in cash right there. They missed out.
Oh, yeah. All right, so I guess that about does it. So let's just move on to some final thoughts. Tex, your final thoughts on Jaws. I mean, I also don't have to ask the stupid question of would you recommend it, because I know the answer.
Well, I'm surrounded by Jaws merch right now. I think I probably would. But this is one of the summer movies of all time. One of the best monster, whatever kind of movie you want to call it. King Kong, Godzilla, Jaws, you can throw them all in there. This movie shaped multiple generations, still scares people to this day. If you haven't seen this, what's wrong with you? Turn off this podcast right now and go watch it. Go watch it in the theater and see what we've been talking about, because it's one of the best films of all time. There's no argument. It's shaped many lives around it. One of the best of all time.
Like I said, tomorrow, for Christ's sake, is the 4th of July. Watch some Jaws.
Perfect time. There you
go. Dr. Nick, give me your final thoughts on Jaws, your favorite movie, as you have put it.
It is, yeah. Again, we said it there. Last time I watched it, just here on the 50th anniversary, I got to the Indianapolis speech. I'm like, holy shit, we're here already. Like, cause I was just watching it by myself. And like,
Goes quick.
I'm one of those guys that, like, you know, if I've seen a movie, I'll kind of play on my phone. My phone was down. I was just sitting, just watching it. Like, you know, and the thing is like, once I've watched movies, I get tired, right? And I kind of lose it. I didn't get tired. I don't get dozy. I just watch the whole time. Just like it's the first time I've watched it. Yeah, I watch it. If you haven't seen this movie, I mean, I don't even know what to say. Watch it. And I will say this, if you wanted to venture a little more, maybe watch the second one ish.
Maybe.
But if you just want to,
but don't go any further after that.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
no further after that.
And because I honestly, if I'm if I'm flicking the channels when we had cable, when I got the TBS, if Jaws 2 was on, guess what I was doing? All right, watching Jaws 2.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, the last time I went to a ball tournament out of town, I shared a hotel room with a friend and his wife, and she had never seen Jaws 2, and it happened to come on AMC. We watched it, and then we had to go play ball. We came back after ball. It happened to be on again, and almost exactly where we left off, and we finished watching the movie. She'd never seen it. So, I mean, it was still Jaws 2, but it was still kind of cool to watch it with somebody who'd never seen it before. So watch it, like Tex said. You should have you should go watch it as soon as you're done watching us. So
100%.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with these two gentlemen here and everyone else who's probably seen this movie who understands what a great movie it is. Like, it's this is the one that Brooding Gamer watches every year. I for some reason I forgot that it was on the 4th of July. I was like, oh, it takes place over the weekend, the 4th. That's right, because I watch Independence Day every year. That's my go-to, which we did on Tuesday.
Welcome to Earth.
Too. Right. Welcome to Earth. But yeah, there's some good movies to watch that are, 4th of July adjacent. This is definitely one of them. That you can just kind of have on in the background and maybe pay attention during the Indianapolis speech, because I mean, my God, like that's something like I said, you pay attention to that story. This is definitely a recommend. I'm sure again from everybody here. Go watch this movie. Maybe watch 2. I guess. Like I said, we've talked about like which movies are canon in certain franchises that we think. I'm like, I can give 2 a pass. I think I watched 3 on cable once, and I was just like, what the fuck was that? What? And I know it was like what, mid 80s maybe, and I was like, but this 3D shit is just got like when the shark explodes at the end of the movie and all that crap comes towards the screen. I was like, okay, there's bad, but then there's like, that is bad. Dear God.
When the head comes up and he pushes the girl's head into the glass thing, and it's like, meh. It's like, this is ridiculous.
And we hadn't even jumped the shark yet.
The worst kill was in Revenge when Sean gets his arm bit off at the beginning, and it's like, it's clearly that his arm is stuffed in the coat because he's like, looks like that Kanye West video, and he's all huge and shit. It's like, oh fuck. Yeah. Like right there, it should have been like, this is gonna be hard to get through, and it was.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go back around the table, wrapping it up. Tex, where do people find you on the internet, and do you have a recommendation, or what have you got going on?
Well, I'm kind of going to go off the thing I recommended previously of Hell Motel. Very interesting show. I've seen the first 3 episodes. I went back and watched them again just because it's one of those shows. It's on Shudder. If you have AMC Plus or Shudder, whatever, it's the quick synopsis is there's a murder that happens at a hotel 30 years prior. There's some devilish stuff going on. Then 30 years now, 10 true crime obsessed people go investigate it. Shenanigans happen. It's kind of like Clue, but with more murder, and it's more gore. So go watch that. Very interesting show. Has my attention right now. That's why I talked about it twice. So yeah, it's worth checking out. It's AMC Plus is cheap, so check it out, y'all.
That's fair. All right, and Dr. Nick, our friend from the Great White North, what have you got going on?
I got to recommend, me and the wife just watched this the other night on Netflix. Now they have a special on that Titan sub that went to the Titanic.
I was
Oh,
kidding,
yeah.
damn it.
What was that?
I was
Oh.
kidding when I mentioned the damn Titan stuff.
No, it was awesome. I can't. That guy is insane.
Oh.
Go watch it. Go watch it. That is, it's unreal.
Speaking of kind of like that, have you seen that poop ship documentary
No,
on
that's
Netflix?
next. I heard it's wild. I heard my boss.
I've heard
tell me
that's
you need to
pretty
watch
gnarly
it.
too. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it either, but that's one I do want to check out.
Boss
Apparently,
said I need to watch it. It's unreal.
yeah. Apparently,
So-
it's a gross one, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna check that out.
Yeah, so me and my co-host Alex, we do Alex and the Garbage Man every Monday night. Well, I say every,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know what's going on this week. I'm on holidays, so as soon as I'm done here, I'm in veg mode till the 14th, I think it is, of July. So I'm not going to be on the show, but I don't know what Alex has planned. He might be there with our redneck friend Ryan. He might have talked to Tex on the backside. Maybe there's something planned there. I have no idea.
Hadn't heard nothing yet. Who knows?
But yeah, if you're bored, we got over 100 shows. Alex and the Garbage Man. We talk about everything from music to Casey sticking video games up his butt to fuck around and find
we had
out.
to get one in.
Yeah,
we got
Karen
one in.
videos. You name it, we try to nail it all. And yeah, just come have fun with us. Tex always shows up. Frank
Yeah.
pops every once in a while. Of course, Casey comes to try and hijack the show, but he's busy playing Uno tonight, so that's why he didn't hijack the show. So thank you for having me, gentlemen. This was a blast.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, of course. I didn't want to entertain it because I didn't want to jinx it, but it must be one hell of a game of Uno because Frank even said, I noticed a certain well-fed troll hasn't shown his face tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Well,
he's playing Uno right now. Yeah.
It must be an intense game of Uno, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Shit.
How does a
As
guy who
for
can't
me,
count play Uno? He doesn't know
Hey.
numbers. How does that
Hey.
work?
They inbreed in Oklahoma. He's got plenty of toes to count on.
He probably plays it like that kid does in Big Daddy. I got a 6 and a 7 and a jack and a 3. I win.
Right, sure.
Oh, that's good.
We're done bashing Casey. I'm always here. Tuesdays, Thursdays. Thursdays, like I said, Dad lets me drive the car, or in this case, drive the boat. I'm Quint, but I know Hooper drives the boat. But
We'll have to
either
make
way.
sure to get the weed smell out of the car right before we hand the keys to him, so we don't get in trouble. Dad might
Roll
get
the windows
upset.
down, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
But
totally
on
been farting in the
Tues-
back seat the whole time.
On Tuesday, we're going to be reviewing the new Jurassic World. I almost said Fallen Kingdom. Jesus Christ.
This
that's
guy.
in my mind.
Roar, dinosaur.
Yeah, we're dinosaurs. The 7th installment of the Jurassic Park franchise. I'm going to see it this weekend with Brooding Gamer. So we'll be back here on Tuesday talking dinosaurs.
Jurassic
So we went
World,
from
Scarlett
Alien-
Johansson. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. So let's get this going on here. Yeah, we went from aliens to sharks to dinosaurs. So
Oh my!
A little bit of everything.
yeah. So we'll see you guys on Tuesday. We're gonna go to a different island and talk about some dinosaurs. So until then, we will see you.
Happy
later.
4th of July!
Have fun, guys. Blow shit up tomorrow.
Watch
Do
out
all
for
the-
sharks.
All the American things we do.
Right?
Make sure you have a big enough boat. I hear that's important.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
always important.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.